Okay, so the Connecticut Sun are officially in the middle of a bidding war, but the WNBA isn't thrilled about either option. Hartford wants in, Boston wants in, and now it sounds like the league might actually want neither. So what's really going on here, and why does it seem like it's less about where the Sun play and more about how much dollars the WNBA can get? Let's talk about it. Right now, there are two massive deals on the table. We have the Boston group led by Celtics minority owner Steve Pagliuca. He is offering $325 million for the team, plus $110 million for a new practice facility. In Hartford, it's a Hartford group. Hartford is in Connecticut, led by billionaire Marc Lasry. He is offering a little bit over $300 million for the team, plus a new training facility as well, and home games at the People's Bank Arena, where UConn plays some of their home basketball games. All right, both bids would be record-setting for a WNBA franchise, right? Or really women's sports in America in general. Both would include practice facilities, nice practice facilities, and both would get the Connecticut Sun out of Mohegan Sun Arena. So, with two fantastic offers on the table, why is the WNBA pushing back on both? Why are they pushing back on both? Well, according to sources, they're telling outlets that the league's board of governors would almost certainly vote down relocation to either Hartford or Boston. And you may be asking why. Okay, you have two fantastic offers. Both offers would give you record-setting numbers. Both would be fantastic. Why, oh why are you looking to say no to both of these offers? Surely one of them could be a good offer, right? Well, no. And I do want to give credit to where I got a lot of this information from. Shout out to sportsbusinessjournal.com. Sportsbusinessjournal.com. They have written some fantastic articles about this, and that's largely where my information is coming from. But Board of Governors is like, no, we're interested in voting down both cities. And the reason why is because neither Boston or Hartford applied for a WNBA franchise in the most recent expansion round. Now, you all may say, why does that matter? Why do you have to apply for an expansion team when this is not an expansion team? This is a relocation. Relocation is not the same thing as expansion, right? You would think that in theory, but the WNBA is actually tying them two together, which kind of makes no sense. But we won't get into that more in a sec, okay? Instead, the league, instead of seriously considering either Boston or Hartford, the league is interested in giving one of the 9 teams that did not make the cut for expansion teams. They're interested in giving one of them the team. So that includes Houston, Austin, Charlotte, Denver, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Miami, Nashville, and St. Louis. Those are the cities that have applied and was turned down when it came to expansion. So the WNBA's strategy, well, it's an interesting one. It's a very, very interesting one, because their strategy is to get more money in the WNBA's pocket, right? The WNBA is saying, hey, if they want relocation to a city, it's going to require a big relocation fee, anywhere between $100 million and $150 million on top of the team purchase price. So basically, WNBA is saying, you know what? We want, yes, pay the Mohegan Tribe their money, and then we also want a huge amount on top of that. That could possibly put the total cost to $400 to $500 million in total to get a WNBA team, to get specifically the Connecticut Sun to relocate to your team. Interesting. Also, guys, it seems like Houston is actually a big option for this, right? Houston is emerging as the league's preferred option, according to the Sports Business Journal. And yeah, that's the thing. So the move would be led by Rockets owner Tillman Ferretta, and he could buy the Sun for around $300 million from the Tribe, then pay an extra $100 to $150 million directly to the WNBA for the relocation rights. Now for the league, this is a win, right? The Mohegan Tribe gets a sale. The league gets to set a higher valuation for future expansion fees. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is to create a higher valuation in the future for more teams that want to get in the WNBA, right? And in this situation, Houston would get the team, a team that they years ahead of schedule, right? According to a source that Sports Business Journal talked to, they said, quote, if you want a team today and you want to leapfrog Detroit, Philly, and Cleveland, that it's $450 million. Whatever number they pick, maybe $500 million. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Now, from a sports business standpoint, that's more lucrative, right? It's more lucrative to have a team like a city like Houston pay $500 million than to just move to Hartford, and Hartford is just paying Mohegan Sun, right? Interesting. Now, despite the odds of this situation, despite the odds of Hartford actually getting a team, Connecticut's governor is pushing hard for Hartford to be the new location of the WNBA team. He's been in contact with Lasry's group, which is the group that's bidding for the team. Also, he says that, hey, their offer is very competitive with what Boston has to offer. And the state is even open to helping fund a new practice facility to keep the team in Connecticut. Yeah, the state is involved, and they're like, you know what? We want to keep a WNBA team so bad that we will put public funds to it to make it happen. Yeah, that's how serious Connecticut wants this team to stay in Connecticut. And we also have a Hartford mayor who's lobbying as well, trying to say, hey, the Sun could be a fantastic economic boost for downtown Hartford, right? It could help restaurants, bars, local businesses make stuff happen. And remember, People's Bank Arena can seat 16,000 fans, right? And the team could have a awesome training facility. And yeah, it seems good. But the problem for Hartford, like Boston, is that that Hartford nor Boston applied to be an expansion team. That's the problem, according to the WNBA, it seems. Neither city is in the WNBA's 9-city priority pool. And sources tell Sports Business Journal that the chance of the league approving a Hartford relocation right now is about 20%. For Boston, it's about 0%, according to a source. Now this unnamed source specifically said the governor and other people, quote, the governor and other people will try to convince Adam Silver, let us move it to Hartford. And whether that's 5% probability or 90%, I don't know. I would tell you it's probably 20% probability that the league will allow the team to move to Hartford. I think Boston is 0, according to the source. Interesting times, right? Very, very interesting times. Okay, let's continue on. Now, meanwhile, Boston's mayor, Michelle Wu, is saying that the city is ready to do whatever it takes to bring the Connecticut Sun to Boston. And Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey has been campaigning the WNBA for years. But according to reports, it seems like the league is holding firm and that the league is eyeing a Boston expansion in 2033. The reason why they're going to wait until 2033 is because they're thinking that they would be able to command a massive expansion fee, way more than what's going on right now. In other words, they don't want to waste Boston on a relocation now when they can make more money by adding it later. Yeah. Now, with all of this, a pawn in the whole thing is the Mohegan Tribe. The Mohegan Tribe is ready to sell. They're ready to sell right now. They were ready to sell to Boston, but they are frustrated with the league limiting where they can sell the team to. They have owned the Connecticut Sun since 2003. They've invested in it quite a bit. And they've kept the WNBA in Connecticut for over 20 years. But now they want to leave. According to a source, they say, quote, the tribe is mad that they can't do what they want to do, end quote. The Mohegan Tribe, they're pissed because they're like, hey, we have supported this team for 20 years. We can't do it anymore. We want to sell and we want to get the money. Boston is giving us a whole lot of money. We want to sell to Boston. And the league is like, no, not so fast. We have our own agenda that we want to do, right? The Mohegan Tribe could take the highest offer now, but they can only do that if the league signs off. So here's my take on the whole situation. The more we learn about this situation, the more it feels like it was all headed here, right? Boston and Hartford, they both saw the Sun as a opening for relocation. Neither one asked for a expansion team, right? Because Hartford, it makes no sense. Why would Hartford put a bid in for an expansion team when the Connecticut Sun is right down the corner, right? When, it makes no sense when Uncasville is right there, right? So like, it made sense for Boston to apply for a expansion team and not Hartford, because why would Hartford do that? Why would you make an expansion team right next to an existing WNBA team? It makes no sense. So like, yeah, anyway, weird. The whole connection between expansion team and relocation, they're not the same thing, but the WNBA is treating them like the same thing, and they're saying, hey, if you want that, you better pay us more. You better pay us more, right? The Sun, they already tested the Boston market with sellout games. Hartford has a billionaire bidder and state support, but the WNBA, they're playing the long game, in their opinion. They know franchise values are skyrocketing, and they will only get bigger. They want Boston and maybe even Houston in their pocket for later at a much higher price. This has nothing to do with keeping the Sun in Connecticut or moving them to a bigger market. This is all about maximizing future expansion revenue. Now, the big gamble that the WNBA is dealing with is if they block Hartford and Boston now, will these billionaire groups wait around, or will they walk away and take their money with them? Right now, the WNBA is in an interesting battle where they're pissing people off, right? The Mohegan Tribe is mad because they can't sell. Boston's upset because they're like, hey, we gave a huge offer to the Tribe to buy the team. They want us to buy the team. We've proven that Boston wants a WNBA team. Why can't we buy it? And Hartford's looking like, hey, we want to keep it in the state. We also have the money to pay the Tribe as well. What's going on, WNBA? So people are mad, absolutely. And I just think the WNBA is making a massive mistake. If the WNBA does not allow either Hartford or Boston to get a WNBA team in this relocation, it is going to bite the WNBA in the future. This is not good. You don't want to piss people off like this, because the offer is there. The offer is a good offer for the Mohegan Tribe, but the WNBA wouldn't get as much money in their coffers with these offers. And so I think this is too much. I think diaspora, I agree with you. Yeah, the greed is going to hurt the league. Like, I understand, get as much money as you can possibly get. However, we are in a position to grow the WNBA. You've already grown a big fan base in Connecticut. It makes sense to either give the team to Hartford or give it to Boston. You're keeping it in the area. I understand you want to increase your amount of money for the future. Like, I get it. I understand that. That makes sense. But at the same time, Steve Pagliuca is a minority owner for the Boston Celtics. You don't think he's going to remember this? If Boston does not get this relocation team, you don't think he's going to remember this? He's not going to remember in 2020 and 2033 when you decide, you know what? Yes, Boston, you want a team? You don't think he's going to remember that and be like, no. I wanted to purchase the Connecticut Sun and you said no. I gave a fantastic offer to the Tribe and you said no. So I'm out. This is a risky game that the WNBA is playing. And I don't think it's a good one. I really don't. And y'all know I'm a big fan of Kathy Engelbert. I think she's done a great job financially for this league, but I think this one is a miss. This one's a miss. And supposedly, she didn't even she didn't even mention the Boston offers to the Board of Governors. This is bad. When a team relocates, it should go to the nearest team that wants them. When Orlando sold to Connecticut, sold to the Mohegan Tribe, they sold because no other city wanted the Orlando team. And so that's why they moved from Orlando to Connecticut. Right next door is 2 cities that want this team. Why would you relocate the Connecticut Sun to Houston? Why would you relocate the Connecticut Sun to Kansas City? It makes no sense. It's too far. Houston makes no sense anyway, because you are bringing over the legacy of the Connecticut Sun, but then you also have the Houston Comets that want to revive. They want to revive that brand and that logo and all that stuff. And so it's like, that'll be really weird. It would make no sense. Sell to either Boston or Hartford. What are we doing here? What are we doing? So yeah. That's it. That's what I got to say. That's all I got to say. That's my take, and I'm curious to hear what your take is. So what would you do? What would you do? What do you think the WNBA should do? Do you think they should approve the Hartford move? Do you think they should approve the Boston move? Do you think they should sell to Houston with a massive relocation fee? Or should the WNBA just hold out in general for the 2023's possible payday that they may get from Houston, Boston, etc.? Yeah. Interesting times. That's the stream, guys. That's the stream. That's what I want to talk about. Again, I do want to thank you all so much for rocking with me. It's been very, very helpful. Let's see. Sorry, this was a super chat from earlier. Jason, thank you so much, Jason, for the super chat. Says it won't happen again. A crypto company did it. About the things thrown on the court. Yeah, we'll see. Enigma says Hartford makes the most sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Right? Diaspora says, do you think expansions are being discussed in the CBA meetings? I'm sure it is. I am very much sure. Tisha says, would you invest in something if you knew your hands would be tied when you're ready to sell, or that someone else would dictate how much you could sell it for and to whom? Well, I get what you're saying, and generally everybody would say no, they would not invest in that. However, this is how sports leagues work. Like, the WNBA is not special in that that the league has to approve, and that's the only league that has to approve stuff that happens. No, the NBA, if a team wanted to move in the NBA or sell to someone, the NBA would have the same thing. It's just the WNBA is being way too heavy-handed about this, right? They're trying to be too controlling about this situation. Like, NFL, same thing. If the Chicago Bears wanted to sell to, I don't know, Toronto or something like that, the NFL would have to approve it, and they may or may not approve it, and blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's not a surprise, because that's how a lot of leagues in America work. However, the WNBA is being way too heavy-handed with this whole situation, by not allowing a offer that makes sense for both the WNBA and for the Tribe, right? Boston makes a lot of sense. The Tribe is getting a lot of money. The WNBA wants a team in Boston eventually, so it makes sense, right? But anyway, that's that. Okay, I gotta go to work. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all appreciated this random deep dive, let me know by hitting that like button. Tell somebody that I did this, anyway, thank y'all for rocking with me. Today is Friday, which means there will not be a Quita in the morning tomorrow. Remember, guys, this is a Monday through Friday show. I may go live, but I won't be live in the morning. Okay. But anyway, what did y'all think about the whole situation? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what y'all think about this thing. And yeah. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Be kind to someone. Tell somebody that they matter, because they truly, truly do. And if no one has told you, you matter, well, let me tell you. You matter. You're important. And I'm happy that you are on this earth. Guys, have a good day watching women's basketball tonight. And I will see y'all again next time. Bye-bye.
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.